Welcome to the Keep Going podcast, all the way from Iran. We got Puya Hashemi, man. What's going on?
Yo, all the way from Iran.
Look at that handshake, man. No, okay, so a little bit about him. You know, he's a stand-up comedian, and then he does a lot with social media, serial entrepreneur. So kind of give me the story on how, like, the comedy got involved into your life, you know?
The comedy got involved in my life. Well, it was what in terms of when I started on social media, because we're all funny.
Yeah.
At least
funny
we think,
looking.
At least, yeah, some of us.
Side note, he came in here and like, there's a few of us standing around, and we were like, dang, he came in here pretty serious. I was like, yeah, dude. I was like, yeah. They didn't know who you were. I was like, yeah, he's a comedian though. And then we were just kind of laughing. Like,
wait, they thought I was. What was serious about the way?
I don't know, man.
The way I was like.
I don't know.
All right.
I don't know. But we all laughed about that. Anyways, go ahead.
Okay.
How did comedy get into your life?
Well, started in social media. I've always wanted to do comedy in social media. Should I look at the camera? Or
you can look at the camera. Both. It's kind of both.
All right.
Yeah.
So I started starting in social media. I always wanted to do something in comedy, and I was kind of afraid for the fact that, you know, having a couple businesses and what would my customers think? What would my vendors think? What would my employees think?
It's a big thing.
Because it's kind of being exposed and vulnerable and like silly and stupid online where everyone can judge you. I don't care about people that don't know me, but what about the people that do know me?
Right.
And it was like, that was always sitting in the back of my mind, and I never like jumped into it. And then COVID hits.
Yeah.
Right? COVID hits and the world's gonna end and everything is gonna stop. My businesses were failing and everybody was just the world was gonna explode. So it's like, okay, now or never. Who cares what people think? So I started to do comedy exactly during COVID, and it started to pick up a little bit, and I noticed people just didn't really care as much as I thought they cared. As far as like judgment, right? You're always gonna have haters, and that's part of the game, but that's okay. And then my employees, my customers were like actually like asking me about it and like really impressed about it, and my family was like sharing it with other friends and family. So it was like this worry I had for no reason, and then I put everything into it and started growing and started getting hundreds of thousands of followers, and then I had a big viral hit with the Amber Heard video. I don't know if you saw that.
Let's pull it up right now.
Yeah, I did a video.
You have it right on it's you have it pinned?
I think so. I think it's
I gotta see
pinned.
this.
It might be pinned. There it is.
Oh gosh.
So it got like 135 million views.
Wow.
Yeah. 4 million likes. This was like 2-3 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. It got shared by a ton of celebrities. Trump shared it.
Oh really?
Yeah. It went berserk. It went crazy. I was getting like 20 million views a day.
So when that happened, like, what was going through your mind?
It was unreal, because like every time I would step outside, like every other day, people would recognize me from the video.
No way.
Every other day. During that moment, it was like I would either get weird looks and
so you're like a micro celebrity right off the bat.
At that moment, for the maybe the 2 months that was going viral, it felt good. It felt different.
Man.
It felt impressed. Yeah, I was shocked.
Wow.
Yeah.
So once that happened, like, was that like the key that you're like, oh, I'm gonna keep going? I'm gonna lean into it?
I got into movies. I got into celebrity No, nothing like that.
Travel the world, date supermodels, fly private jets. Yeah.
None of that happened. I faked some of that, of course. Online, you got to fake it. But yeah, it was a slow growth. I put some other stuff out, and it got some kind of endorsement opportunities, and it was just like, wow, one video can really change everything. It can get you a lot of viewers. It can get you a lot of press. It can get you a lot of exposure. And it's just like, okay, now I want to put a lot more time and energy into it.
Wait, once that happened, did it help your other businesses too, or no?
Not really, no.
No?
Maybe some people actually from those businesses recognize me. It overall, it was a good icebreaker.
Yeah.
Anytime you meet someone in their group would have seen the video and they were like, "Hey, you look familiar."
Yeah, for
So,
real. And so now, are you leaning into that? Have you leaned into that full time, or is it more so still on the side, or like?
it's kind of on and off. I do it more right. I would say right after, up until like 2022, 2023, I was doing it more as like a way to kind of an escape from my day to day. It was just a way to like unwind, or just some people meditate. I do comedy to just to kind of make things more simple.
So that's your therapy.
Relax. That's my
Comedy's
therapy.
your therapy.
Yeah, everything that's going on in my life, if I do that for like 15 minutes to 2 hours, it's just, you forget about all the other crap that's going on.
We were
in your
just
life.
talking about that on the last show. Like, people get in this low frequency where they're mad, pissed off at their husband, wife, boss, whoever.
You need an outlet.
Yeah, and that's your outlet.
Yeah.
So that's what you encourage people to look for too in life, I imagine.
Absolutely. I think, well, it depends on everybody's a little different. And for me, right after that video or during that time, and I still get it today, I'll get messages from people, random people from around the world, even Iran.
Yeah.
They're just like, what? Or they're just like, you've really helped me go through this difficult time in my life. I had a person going through chemo, another person going through like having no friends and just being depressed and suicidal, and just watching my videos and cheering them up for the day.
Wow.
Just really, really crazy things that are going on in people's lives that are just bringing some light to their life in that moment. And it keeps me like driving me to do more videos and doing more things. I'm not getting much money out of it, but it's knowing that's in the back of my mind. I'll meet people in the street and they'll be like, "Your videos are awesome, I love them." And it's a complete stranger, but it makes me want to do more, because it's in some way it's helping some people cope and get through their life.
You know what I always say? What I always say is literally, you can have 1,000,000 particles of darkness, but all it takes is one particle of light to overcome that darkness.
Of course.
It seems like you've done that for people in your life, and you're talking about all those inspiring stories. You're inspiring people to do all that.
Yeah,
Is there somebody that inspired you to do that, to get into that, or?
I think all the great comedians like Jim Carrey and he's goofy,
He's super goofy,
care.
yeah.
And
Can you do impressions or no? You can do impression. Yeah, let's hear one. Come on, let's hear one.
No, I can't.
He's got one.
I'm not that good on live
you
filming.
You better figure it out, man. Figure it out, man.
I mean, I did stand up, and that was just tough, because you only get one take, right?
Yeah.
And
have you ever bombed?
I think I bombed every time.
No, because I hear Steve Harvey and the Bernie Macs and those guys. They talk about when they bombed.
Well, I mean, I feel like I could be a lot better if I put more time. I don't think I was doing it at my optimal. Whereas like with my reels and my videos online, I get to do as many takes as I want, and I'm more of a perfectionist, and I'll just go through like 2-3 hours of the stupidest thing filming, and I'll refilm it for a 15-second video. Right? And you, like that Amber Heard video, that took probably like 20 takes, and you wouldn't believe it. It was just like, because the timing had to be right, and then the video editing was I just had to get it down right. And
you know who Gary Vee is?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay, he would just tell you, just fucking post it.
Of course.
Just raw.
Yeah. And now with all the new tools, you can get it to other followers. Yeah. It's just like, you're right.
Here's a clip for social media. What's your number one tip to go viral?
To go viral? I would say, I should probably look at the camera right there.
Yeah.
My number one tip to go viral would be, probably if you want to make a lot of, you want to have a lot of opportunities to go viral. It's not like making one video and hoping for the best.
Oh.
So what I would recommend is go after the things that have already gone viral and use that as motivation or a pathway instead of reinventing the wheel of coming up with your own from scratch. Come up with like, basically, instead of creating a car, a brand new car that's no one's ever created and kind of can float and do all these things, just build a car that's better than the last car that was ever made, right? Yeah. And you have more of an opportunity to do that because you're using an existing pathway that has more of a potential. It's proven. Yeah. And you don't have to guesswork on a lot of different variables. You can kind of tweak it with your own style and modify it and make it even better than the last one.
Is that kind of how that first video happened, or is it?
That one, I feel like there was a lot of different types of videos like that, and I took probably like 2 or 3 ideas from other creators and I made it my own. So that was more of an original idea, but there's a lot of videos that kind of interact with TV, right? You're interacting with a TV set. But in this form factor, it's a little bit different.
When you were like posting and like, you know, doing stand-up, did you always think you were kind of funny, or did people kind of tell you, or did, you know, I'm curious about that.
Yeah, people would always tell me.
Like in high school, were you the class clown?
I was actually in high school, I would do magic.
Really?
Yeah, so I was always entertaining.
What was your go-to magic trick? You got any?
Do I have any?
I have a quarter. Can you do something with the quarter?
Something stupid and simple, yeah.
Okay, hold
Why
on.
do you have a quarter, by the way?
I found it today. I actually use a piggy bank, and I go deposit it at the end of every year. I go deposit it.
Let's see.
And I would like to say a shout out to my financial advisor for that one.
All right, this is a quarter. All right, so
here, I'll take the quarter. Okay. You're gonna guess which hand it's gonna be in, right?
Yeah. I know which one it's in right now.
You already do.
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead. But think it's not in that one.
Okay. It's not in that one.
It's not in either one.
He literally doesn't have a quarter. Where did it go?
The quarter never existed. Yeah, so I'm a magician too.
Dude.
It's gone.
Dude, I need that for my piggy bank.
I'll give it to you after the whole thing. I gotta switch it out with a fake one. This is how I make my money.
Oh gosh. 25 cents at a time.
It's very difficult.
So wait, so you got into magic.
Yeah, I did magic.
Did that impress the ladies or what?
That's exactly the reason I started.
Listen up.
Well, magic,
young
comedy,
men that are single, how do you impress the ladies?
You steal their quarters.
You steal their quarters.
Yeah.
Do some magic.
You make them follow you for financial fraud. And then they got to hire a lawyer, and you get a better lawyer, and then you settle the case.
And then you can end up making an Amber Heard video about it because you're in.
You could do that. She does a lot of that stuff. Yeah. So, I started magic to kind of fit in because I wasn't super athletic. I was the opposite. I thought I was smart, but not book smart. And I was just like, how do I kind of fit into the group? And I started, my motivation was David Blaine at the time.
David Blaine,
Street magic. When he would do the street magic back in the day on ABC with Leo DiCaprio.
See?
And he would just go in the street and random people. And then one day I was just like, I studied his stuff, did it in school, did it in the streets, did it
everywhere.
Just all the places. Yeah, every place I could think of. And I was kind of considered like the magic man.
Really?
And then I felt like that attention was awesome. It was incredible. Yeah. People would just come up to me, strangers would come up to me, kids would come up. Yeah, it was just wow. It would motivate me to kind of continue that path. And then in college, I completely stopped. I don't know why.
Where'd you go to school?
Cal State Fullerton.
Oh, local, okay.
I was like, I think I had like a moment was like, were people interested in me or my magic or entertaining them? You know what, I'm gonna stop and see where it goes. And I lost all my friends and
wow.
So it was like, no, I had other friends. And then, in college I didn't do it and I kind of stopped magic and then I picked it up again and did a little bit on social media. It's hard to be popular on social media for magic. It's hard to go viral with magic nowadays.
What do you think, like, if somebody was just starting out to try to build their personal brand, what do you think the number one tip would be to build their personal brand?
I think to build your personal brand, you gotta try a lot of different things online, a lot of different strategies, see what picks up, what kind of works the best, and then double down on those.
Yeah.
It's because everybody's kind of has a lot of different facets and capabilities, and you don't know which one people are going to resonate to the best.
Yeah.
So you want to kind of explore. I have a friend that has tried a few different ideas, or he was actually doing podcasts.
Oh, really?
And it wasn't really going anywhere. It was just like the same, under 1,000 views every one. And then the fires happened, the LA fires, and then he would go out and interview the firefighters and then show kind of the effects of the fires. And then one video, which was showing like this burnt car, and he kind of talked about, because he's into cars, so he talked about what kind of car it was, and what modifications it had, and it was showing the after effects of this car.
Right.
And that went absolutely viral. And I'm like, I hit him up, I'm like, do more of those videos.
Right.
Whatever it is, houses. Then he did a couple houses. Then he started interviewing firefighters. Then he started to just kind of then he started to interview kids or students in universities. But you got to explore the different areas, and then you're like, whoa, this one hit. I got to double down.
So you're saying like just figure out what doesn't work.
Just try everything.
Try everything.
Try everything. If you're gonna go into comedy, try all the try skits, try reaction videos, try kind of manipulating other kind of comedians on there. Try stand-up.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be live stand-up. Try impromptu, kind of like the comedy that's could be real, could be kind of scripted. Try it all, and then see like, oh shit, this one did 2 million. Let's do this. Let's do this in different versions.
What do you think the best platform is right now to post on? Is it YouTube Shorts? Is it TikTok? Is it Insta?
I think it depends on your type of content, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I have shorter form comedy. Usually it's between like 10 seconds and 30 seconds.
Right.
And that works really well for Instagram. TikTok, I haven't had much luck. It picks up sometimes. It's more longer form now, TikTok.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Because I was like your friend. I was like, well, dude, I'm not getting any views on this. Then I posted like a 3-minute video. Oh. It was a great story. Yeah. Very emotional. And then like, boom.
Boom.
Yeah.
If you do that on Instagram, probably doesn't do as well. No. Right?
Yeah.
So it just
I swear
depends.
I'm shadow banned.
Oh, I thought I was shadow banned on TikTok, but TikTok is longer form, and that's how you get paid. If it's over a minute, it's totally switched. And typically I go to TikTok for the longer form, longer videos.
Yeah.
Instagram is usually shorter, and if it's too long, I'm usually off there.
Yeah.
And then you've got YouTube for the really long form.
Right.
And that you can make good money if you're doing. So it just depends on your.
So you're gonna lean into YouTube more? Or?
I need to. So one thing I'm working on, hopefully
give
this
us what
year.
You're working on. Yeah.
This is what I've always done, but I've never really pushed it out. I've done little bits of it and here and there.
Yeah.
Is prank calls.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I do a lot of those.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have this passion to mess with scammers and
you know what I've seen is people, they go live like on Instagram or YouTube or TikTok, and then they do the prank calls live.
That something works too.
Yeah, maybe.
It's tough because I'll get a call like when I'm driving and I'll just go through. I'll be in a meeting and I'll get a call and I'm like, most people are like, you're not. I love it. I love messing with these scammers. These are like real scammers from overseas.
Oh,
not like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They're not your mom, dad, and cousins. They're
no. They're scammers.
Yeah.
They're like professional, trained. Scammers. They'll scam your grandparents if it wasn't for me.
Yeah, I've had some family. That are scammers. No, you just made me think of a story. How you talking about prank calls? I used to have this voicemail set up on my phone, so when friends and family would call, they'd be like, I'd say, hey,
Yeah.
I'd act like I'm there, but I'm not. It drive them nuts.
And you're like, yeah. Then it's like 2 minutes long.
Yeah.
Like, oh, leave a message. I'm not even here.
Yeah, literally. Because then all of a sudden I got to the point I was like, hey, hi, and then, wait, what'd you say? Can you repeat that? And they were just getting pissed off. Then they leave a mad voicemail. My parents didn't like that one very much. But anyways, no, when you were talking about YouTube, there's a project you're going to work on for it, or is it more so?
No. It would be because those go longer. Some of those I've.
Oh, you were talking about the prank calls.
Yeah. I've screwed with the same scammer for like months sometimes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, these are like dedicated. They think that I'm this rich ass old man that's an idiot that thinks that they think they can.
You're just a rich ass, not an old man.
Relative. In OC, I'm very, I'm in the poverty.
No, okay. This is the Keep Going podcast. So what's like the thing that keeps you going?
I guess it depends on what you're talking about. For my businesses, I want them to kind of grow and prosper and just flourish. Just keep kind of getting bigger and getting more employees and getting more customers and helping and just seeing my brand in more locations, right? And seeing that just is, I'll go to like one of the companies I own is SIP Awards. We do alcohol valuation.
I went to that.
Okay, you went to that. How'd you like it?
Yeah, it was a blast.
It was awesome, right?
Yeah, we had fun.
We had like 60 brands. It was in Newport Beach. We had, every brand was giving us samples. You learned so much about the different spirits, a lot of tequilas,
beautiful people
a lot of
there.
whiskey, beautiful people.
Beautiful people.
Yeah. We only have the most beautiful. That's why you were there. It was an awesome event, and so we're gonna have more of those, and those types of products are gonna be featuring our medals if they win quality of their product.
Yeah.
So going to like a grocery store and seeing my brand on a tequila bottle that's by a celebrity, it's very motivating. It keeps me going. It's like, wow, I'm all over the world just from some idea I had, 15 years ago of this is how competitions should be run or brands should be run.
So wait, you had an idea, was it because you were working at some dead-end job, or you're like, I can do this better, or like, what's the story behind starting that company?
For that one, I started my own tequila and absinthe company. And then I was trying to get my products into different retailers and bars, and it was tough because I'm competing with Patron, I'm competing with Grey Goose. And then I've seen some of these competitions to get accolades, to kind of show off your product when you're going into a sales pitch for a restaurant and saying, hey, you guys got to have my tequila.
Right.
And I'm looking at all the competitions, and I'm noticing all of them are by brand ambassadors, by judges that are in the industry. So I'm like, brand owners are in the judging seats, and I'm like, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense.
There's politics everywhere, isn't there?
Right.
I learned that with one of my first bodybuilding show. I was like, these coaches are literally judges.
Exactly.
I was like, same thing.
It doesn't make sense to me, and I'm like, why would I submit my product when my competition will be judging it and theirs?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. So I came up with the idea. I'm like, what if we can have the average Joe, the average guy that goes to the grocery store, picks out a bottle, tastes it, they are the judge. What if that came up? And I told everybody, most people at the time, my business partner, I was running the tequila company. He was like, that's stupid. That's not, the big brands aren't going to like that. They're not going to, who's going to take, really? And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it with my own money. I started it up. And the first year we had over 70 brands. Some big brands entered too.
Yeah.
This last year, we had over 1,300 brands from all over the world competing in our competition, because we are the only consumer judge competition in the world. We're the biggest one there. We're probably the third or fourth largest
You're a man
competition.
of the people for the people.
Exactly. We're the consumer's choice of spirits, of quality spirits and different beverages, mixers and different types of drinks.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Wait, so hold on. You do business aside from comedy is business and you make some money from that, but
very little.
What's your number one business lesson or piece of advice?
I mean, if you have an idea, you got to. You're stupid to not even like explore it or do it. And it's the first steps are the most crucial things. Everyone has an excuse. Everyone will say, well, I don't know how to get started. I don't. And you have all the tools online, literally all the tools that, 20 years ago, you would have had to go to an office and sit at a government facility getting paperwork to fill out and figure. Now you can literally take a form, send it to ChatGPT and ask it, how do I fill this out?
Right.
And ask it, I have this idea, what can I create it with it? What's my first step? Like, you could sit there at home, not have any friends, not have any mentors, and be able to take your business from A to Z in less than like a month.
Yes.
With zero money. Everything is free practically, with very little money. No help from anyone. You can't complain, oh, I don't have family that can support me. I don't have a friend that's in the business. You don't need any of that. Today, it's like the world has changed to make it so effortless.
Yeah.
And I mean, back then it was a little bit different. Like 30 years ago, it was much more difficult.
Yeah.
Now it's like
30 years ago, I wasn't alive.
40 years ago, I was on a typewriter and you had to send it in the mail. Now it's like literally instant. Everything is instant. You can get a contract from someone, take a picture of it, ask ChatGPT, what are the things I need to be concerned about? Get it. You don't even need a lawyer to do anything. Like, it is ridiculously, the barrier to entry has went down to practically zero or negative zero. It practically does it for you.
See,
so
that was the Gary Vee answer I was looking for.
I mean, if you're not doing it, you don't deserve it. Like, you don't.
If you're not doing it, you don't deserve it.
If you're not going after your goals, someone else should be doing that. Because before, you actually had to put effort in. Now it's like the little effort you have to put in to get what you want. It's so low. It's such a low amount, and it's just like you just didn't want it bad enough.
Who taught you that? Is that self-taught? Do you have a mentor? Do you have a coach in your life?
It's just, I guess it's self-taught. It's just like, now I'm seeing with what's going on with AI, and it's just like, wow.
Yeah.
It's like the things I'm using it for every day.
ChatGPT.
And everyone I'm like going up to, they know about it, but they're not using it. And I'm showing them and it's all about like learning how to do the right inputs. It's all about your input prompts, and it's all about the quality of that. I would recommend, if you really want to learn something in 2025, it would be learning how to talk and communicate and work with AI, with inputs. And you're going to get the good results based on a good input. So it's all about the quality of your input, and the better that is, the better your results are.
That's a great piece of advice.
Absolutely. And I mean, anyone can use it for average quality, but you can get some really high level, like mastermind quality results out of it.
Yeah.
And have like the quality, the combined knowledge base of literally the greatest people that have ever lived on the planet for free, if you know how to communicate with AI as your employee, essentially.
Yeah.
If you can do that effectively, and it doesn't take much, you can take a certification class, pay $60 or something, or there's free ones. There's YouTube videos that break it down. You do that, and it's like you literally have no excuse.
I like that. I like that answer.
Yeah.
What's the best business decision you've ever made?
Best business decision. I guess not listening to all the negative people that have
said. Say that into the
camera.
camera.
Not listening to and same thing with starting my Instagram videos. It's not listening to all the negative naysayers or the haters or the people that are always doubtful, not only on you but on themselves. The people that project their insecurities onto you, right? And if I listened to them, I wouldn't have any of my businesses. I wouldn't have invested in the real estate I've invested in. I wouldn't have had the time to be able to invest into my creativity of my projects. And it's literally just going after what you believe in and forgetting the rest.
Yes.
Because I feel like the regret is much more painful than the success that you could have had. Because you could have always said, I would have. It's always the regret for me. It's like in 20 years or 30 years, am I going to regret not doing that or doing this? And usually the answer is yes. It's like doing it and failing. At least I tried. But nowadays, I can't see how you could fail.
Right.
Like you have so much support. You literally have the smartest people around you with technology, and there's no reason why you could fail other than like your effort level.
Yeah.
You just don't care.
Right. No, I agree with that 100%. I was going to say, well, when you're talking about, I was going to say hurt people hurt people.
Absolutely.
So
I believe in that.
The naysayers, when you're talking about that, and then they stop you from getting to where you want to be. And I was going to say, I kind of look at it like when I think about the end of my life and I'm about to die, I'm on my deathbed and I'm going to the heavenly gates, and then they introduce Keaton 1.0 and say, hey, this is what you did. And then they have 2.0, this is what you could have been. Why didn't you do this? And then I would have that regret my whole life, just like you're talking about that regret.
Absolutely.
So go out and do what you're going to do, because you don't want to get to the end of your life and look back and think about all the things that you could have done to make a more positive impact, inspire people, and have a quality life. So
100%. You got to go after your goals, because no one else is going to do it for you.
Yeah, literally nobody will do it.
No one's going to do it for you. And there's a lot of people that are like, I had a girlfriend that was like, well, I don't know how to get started. Someone can build, I'm hoping someone can build a website, or someone can do that. It's like no one's gonna do that, or no one's gonna do it as passionately as you are.
Right.
No one's gonna, even if you pay them, like there's a level of
transaction.
That first step of starting your own startup, you got to take all the roles and responsibilities, and no one's gonna put in the love and energy and sweat as you are. So you gotta do it. You can't wait for the opportunity. You can't wait for just the money to come in or the time to have. You gotta make the time. You gotta make the money to be able to do what you want to do.
It's where your priorities are. You gotta prioritize.
Prioritize. Yeah. That's it. That's it. I mean, you look at anyone, they have the time. They just got to reduce the Netflix. They got to reduce the going out. They got to reduce maybe the working out all the time. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
You can work out. You can work out. Come train with me. No, it's literally your priorities.
Or the family time. Whatever it is, they can now. You don't need 8 hours. You can have like 4 hours, and you can have AI do the rest.
Yeah.
Or 2 hours, or whatever.
Right.
There's so much that can be done in a day. If you want it.
And so with that being said, those people that are out there right now that want it, what would you tell them that your legacy is for Puya and what you're building right now? Like, what's more to come from you? Like, what are we looking forward to?
What's more to come from me? I guess more comedy, more laughter, more inspiration for the world, and bringing. My whole thing is, for both of my businesses, the other businesses, I build like interactive experiences for technology, for companies that want to showcase their products. So both businesses in a way are trying to showcase different companies and products in a better way than they could do on their own. Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to do with both of my businesses. And for myself, I'm trying to motivate others to be able to show off their skills and their capabilities. Yeah. So in a way, both businesses and personal, I'm trying to accelerate, just bring everyone another level up. And that's what I'm going to do going forward into the future.
Sweet. So if people are going to look out and reach out to you, where can they find you, support you, your socials?
Support me, send me money. I can always use more. Everyone can. You can come on my Instagram. It's Hey Puya, HeyPouya. And then my companies are Sip Awards. That's the alcohol competition and events. And then the other company is Spin Touch. And then we do a lot of different cool interactive projects.
Yeah, sweet. All right, I want to do an impression. Can you do one impersonation? Come on, just one for us. Just one.
Just one for it's you. That's the one
I'm ready. I'll look away if I have to.
No, I really have not practiced this. I did it when I was.
What do we
like,
think, John, man?
I did the magic, man.
He did the magic. Well, thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate you.
Absolutely,
and,
absolutely.
It was a blast. So
no,
we're good.
It was great. Do you do an outro?
That's it.
That's it?